Hi, my name is Phyllis and my website is southernfrugal.com. Today we're going to make a butter pound cake, and it's going to have a lot of butter in it. So what we've started out with is 3 sticks of butter. That's like a cup and a half of butter, and it's softened at room temperature. So what we're going to do, I'm going to use my KitchenAid, and the KitchenAid has a paddle on it that scrapes the side of the bowl as we're going along, right there. And I did have to order this separate from Amazon. Alright, so we're just going to sort of cream that butter just a little bit. Y'all up a little bit closer so you can see it a little better. Right there. Okay, now to this we're going to add 3 cups of sugar. I'm just going to dump that sugar right in. And I'm going to also not add the eggs one at a time. I'm going to dump them all in. That's 5 extra large eggs. Now, if you can't find the Eggland Best or extra large eggs, you'd need to use 6 regular large eggs. Alright, into this, I'm going to go ahead and add the vanilla. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now, if you're making this with a hand mixer, you'd need to probably add those eggs one at a time. But for the sake of convenience, I'm just adding everything at once. I'm going to also add 1 teaspoon of salt. Just regular white salt. Now don't use that Himalayan pink salt in this because it's got those little black specks in it, and it kind of shows up in the cake. Alright, and we're adding 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and what that's for is to cut the sweetness a little bit. Now this is a very versatile cake in that you can use it for all kinds of things. You can even toast it and put butter on it and toast it in the oven. It's really good. Alright, so we're just going to slowly mix this now. Alright, so we're going to let this run for probably about 5 minutes to get it all mixed up real thoroughly. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, we are back, and this has been beaten for a good 5 minutes. If you're using a regular handheld mixer, you'd need to add those eggs one at a time and beat it really well. So you can see now that it's kind of light and fluffy, and the color of it is a lighter yellow. So we're now ready to start adding our flour, and this is 3 cups of flour. What you want to do is try to find a light, I guess winter wheat flour if you can, like White Lily, and it needs to be all-purpose flour, and if you can't find that, you could use cake flour. But what you need to do is sift the flour first and then measure it, and we've got 3 cups. So we're going to add the flour, beginning with flour and ending with flour, and we're going to use 3/4 of a cup of just regular whole milk. So again, we're going to start out adding the flour, then we're going to alternate it with the milk. So I'm just going to dump it in now. It doesn't matter how long you mix a cake when it's the sugar, butter, and spices or whatever, but when you start adding the flour, you don't want to mix it as long. So I'm going to add a little bit of the milk now. And by the way, this little paddle on here that scrapes the side of the bowl is very, very good to have. And I did have to order that separate on Amazon. It did not come with my KitchenAid, but it saves a lot of scraping the bowl. And add more milk, just slowly dribble it in so it doesn't splash everywhere. Alright, more flour. And by the way, you don't use any baking powder or baking soda in this cake because it's a pound cake, and what's going to create the texture of the pound cake are the eggs, because they will expand and create some little bubbles in there. Alright, we're adding the last of our milk now. Now I'm adding the last of the flour. Alright, I am going to scrape down the sides a little bit because the flour gets on there up a little higher than that paddle. And again, you don't want to mix it a long time once you add the flour. We're just going to mix it just a teeny bit more here. Now the oven is preheated to 325 degrees, and I have greased and floured a 10-inch tube pan. So some of you young ladies who've never made a pound cake before, I think you could make this one. All you have to do is just follow the instructions exactly and it will turn out perfect. Alright, that's all we need. We've got it all mixed up. Now this cake is probably going to cook for about an hour and 20 minutes in my oven. Now your oven might be different, so what you want to do is test it using a toothpick or some kind of long thing. Like I use a little knife. Sometimes I use a toothpick. But anyway, let's put this aside. Move my mixer back a little bit. Alright, so again, you want to grease and flour a 10-inch tube pan. Wipe that flour up a little bit. And you can find the 10-inch tube pan at probably Bed Bath & Beyond, or maybe even Walmart. I think has them in that little cake decorating section they have. So we're going to dump this in now. Sorry, I know the pot's in the way, but I can't do it any other way. Maybe I turn it around a little bit like that. This is a very thick batter, and again, the texture of a pound cake is totally different than like a layer cake or a sheet cake. It's going to be very dense and of course very rich. Okay, let me get the rest of this out too. Alright, so now I'm going to spread this out in the pan. Sort of evenly. And I'm going to make a little gully right in the center of that, like that, because pound cakes usually rise up and get a little crack in them. Not always, but sometimes they do. So if you make your batter more up on the sides and in the middle and just kind of scrape out a little valley there, sometimes they'll not crack like that. But if they crack, it doesn't matter. Alright, so I'm just going to stick the knife down in it. Try to pull up any big air bubbles that might be in there. That's it. So it's ready to go in the oven. And the hardest part of this is going to be getting all the ingredients together. And I am going to list the ingredients right down below. Alright, so some people do theirs like that. I find with a pound cake that doesn't really work. Doesn't do anything actually. Alright, 325 degrees preheated oven. Grease and flour very well your tube pan. I mean, put a lot of grease in it, like I use Crisco. Just, I don't know that spray will work because you're going to have a long time in the oven. Probably an hour and 20 minutes, maybe a little longer. Alright, so when this gets ready and done, we'll be back. Alright, the cake has just been taken out of the oven, and I want to show some of you younger ladies how to test it. I've just got a regular toothpick. I'm going to choose a place like right in, say, the middle there, and stick it all the way down as far as I can, and then pull it back up, and the toothpick should be clean. Now, I cooked this, or baked it, at 325 degrees, and I checked it after an hour and 10 minutes, and it wasn't quite done. I cooked it 5 more minutes and it was done, so it cooked a total of 1 hour and 15 minutes at 325 degrees. Now we're going to let it cool here for 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes before we try to dump it out onto a plate. Now see the little cracks I was telling you about? That would be much bigger if I hadn't kind of made a valley around that little center section here. Alright y'all, when this gets cooled, we'll be back. Dump it out of the plate. Wish me luck on that. And we'll probably be having a piece because we just had our main meal of the day. Alright, we'll be back 30 minutes, say. Alright, this has been cooling for about 20 minutes now. We're going to see if we can dump this out of the pan. Alright, here we go. I'll just turn the pan up. And 1, 2, 3. And at this point you want to say, oh, please come out. Don't let any part of it stick. Alright. Pan's still a little hot. It did not come out. Alright. Always a little disappointing. Now, of course, if you line this with some of the wax paper, I don't recommend parchment paper because it's too hard to mold to the pan. In fact, I will leave a link down below for showing how to line a pan. And let's hope it will come out this time. All right, here we go. I think it came out. I hope it did. Oh, it came out. And that's what happens sometimes, but that's okay. I'm still going to just leave it just like this because we're going to use it to put fruit over and whipped cream. I'm going to cut it in slices and freeze it, but after, well, why don't we just go ahead and cut a slice right now. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Hold on. Slip y'all over just a little bit, a little closer. There. Alright. Now it's still pretty warm. There's the texture. Let me see if I can cut my light on here. There. Texture's pretty good. Alright, I'm going to give this a taste. Because y'all always want me to give you a taste. Or to taste of it and let y'all know what I think. Now what's different is we added a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Some people add lemon juice. You won't be able to taste whether it was lemon or vinegar. Very buttery and super, super good. Alright, y'all. We will see y'all next time. Again, I will leave a link on how to line one of these 10-inch tube pans. Somebody wrote in and said before on that same video, wait a minute, let me swallow, that you should not use a wax paper to line a tube pan because it could catch fire. No, it won't, y'all. People have been lining tube pans for many years with wax paper. What you do is, of course, grease the pan, cut the wax paper to fit, and then grease the wax paper. And that way, that doesn't happen. All right, we will see y'all next time. Bye for now.